day to our beloved lecturers. So we are from Group 12, and the company that we already chosen is GISBH. GISBH is a global econ services and business holdings in Berhad. It is a Malaysian conglomerate and Islamic organization that emerged as the successors to Al-Arqam, and this company already established back in 2008. So market itself as a Bumiputra Muslim-run enterprise, and it's rooted in Islamic business principles. So GISB has a youth non-profit organization of charity homes across Malaysia that house vulnerable groups such as orphans, single mothers, and the needy. The location mostly at the Shah Alam as a corporate hub, and also international operations over 20 countries in Asia, Europe, Dubai, Saudi Arabia, Bosnia, and more. Next, for global econ nature of business, multiples of operation in the multiple sectors such as retail, commercial, supermarkets, mini markets, restaurant and cafes, manufacturing and production, and many more.
Good day everyone. Today I will be explaining the issues of exploitation involving GISBH, focusing on two main areas: abuse and forced child labor. In the first case, physical, emotional and sexual abuse. Firstly, children under a GISBH have faced physical and emotional abuse from caretaker and supervisors. Some workers have reportedly sexually abused at a young age, and there are cases where pregnancies occurred due to rape. These acts were allegedly done to increase population for business purposes and to raise a donation which is used for support the leaders' lavish lifestyle. In addition, many workers were not paid wages and suffered emotionally abuse from their supervisor. This action clearly breached the Employment Act 1955, the Code of Conduct and common law in Malaysia. The second issue is the forced child labor. Secondly, the GISBH operate many businesses across the country such as a supermarket, restaurants and bakeries and pharmacies. According to the Children and Young Person Employment Act 1966, children are not only allowed to work in family businesses, and even they are not allowed to work during school hours or at night. However, this organization is not family business. Children were forced to work long hours in factories, producing items like noodles and sauces, as well as selling goods without receiving wages. This clearly violates Malaysian labour law. The solution to prevent these issues: in the first, compliance with labour law. To prevent such exploitation, GISB must strictly comply with labour laws. They should ensure that all workers are adults, legally employed and properly documented. According to the Employment Act 1955 and the Children and Young Person Act, young person 13 to 40 may only do light works in family businesses, which does not apply to GISBH. Second thing, transparent governance and external oversight. Another important solution is to improve governance. GISBH should appoint an independent board to monitor its activities, operation and welfare practices. External oversight can help prevent exploitation. For example, Government Social Welfare Agency should conduct regular inspection to ensure children and workers are protected.
My name is MIRZA Binti MIRZA, and my matrix number is 302421. So I will now address the second industrial relations issue, which is the unpaid tax involving GISB. So these issues goes beyond administrative delay and highlight serious weaknesses in financial governance. So the company failed to pay taxes for the latest assessment year and continued to show non-compliance despite repeated audits, penalties, and also investigation. This pattern indicates that the problem is systematic, not accidental. So under the Income Tax Act 1967, failure to pay taxes is a legal offence, and repeated breaches expose the company to stronger enforcement and legal consequences. So underlying cause of this issue is poor internal financial management and lack of transparency. So without proper accounting controls and qualified financial reporting may become unreliable. So this increases the risk of fund misuse and erodes public confidence. So from an industrial relations perspective, weak financial governance is critical because it directly threatens organizational stability and can eventually affect employees' wages. So to prevent this issue, two main solutions should be implemented. So firstly, the company must strengthen internal governance by appointing qualified accountants and licensed tax agents. So these professions ensures that all income and expenses are properly recorded and that tax obligations are interpreted and fulfilled accurately under law. So secondly, the company must settle all outstanding taxes immediately by prompt settlement, reduces penalties, avoids persecution, stabilizes the company's financial position and also helps safeguard employee wages. So overall, proper tax compliance is very essential not only for legal responsibility but also for sustaining trust, accountability, and healthier industrial relations.
Assalamualaikum and a very good day, Dr. Fitria. My name is Atirah. I will continue for the next slide. Alright, from this slide, it's explained about one industry relation issue which is unregulated and unsafe accommodation for workers. First, the shelters managed by KIPs are not officially registered. This is a serious legal and welfare problem because unregistered shelters operate without government supervision. Because of this, there are no standard operating procedure for emergency such as fire safety and sanitation. There are also weak worker protection policy, for example, no screening to prevent abuse or exploitation. There is no transparency in how funds or donations are used to manage the shelters. Another issue is overcrowded living conditions. Many workers live in unsuitable and crowded space. This can create unsafe conditions such as fire hazard, blocked exits, and overload electrical system. The living environment is also unhygiene with insufficient toilets. This slide is about the solution to prevent unsafe worker accommodation. The main solution is legal registration and licensing. KIPs should ensure that all worker shelters are officially registered with the Social Welfare Department or JKM and other relevant authorities. Registration is important because it ensures shelter follow safety and welfare regulations. This includes safety checks such as building structure, fire safety, and emergency exits. It also ensures workers live in a safe, hygiene, and adequate living conditions. If failure to register the shelters can lead to a breach of the minimum standards of housing, accommodation, and amenities Act 1990. This Act controls space, facilities, charges, and maintenance of worker housing. It also violates the Occupational Safety and Health Act 1994, which requires employers to provide a safe environment.
Assalamualaikum Dr. Fitria, my name is WARDINA. Next, I will discuss the issues of failure to provide the written employment contract and unclear employment status. GISBH claimed that the individuals involved were not employees but instead referred to them as members or community workers. However, these labels have no legal effect if the actual working relationship show otherwise. Under an employment law, what matters is the reality of the work, not the title given. If an individual performs regular duties and under supervisions, they are legally considered employees even if no written contract exists. In this case, GISBH failed to provide written agreement explain the nature of the relationship. This failure clearly constitute a breach of Section 10 of the Employment Act 1955, which requires a contract of service to be properly documented. Because there were no written terms, there was no clarity regarding important matters such as salary, working hours, wage rate. Now I will explain the solutions that the company should implement to prevent these issues in the future. First of all, need to provide written contracts to all individuals performing regular work, which means the company must provide written employment contracts to every person who perform the regular works, especially those working for more than 1 month. Each contract of service should clearly state job duties and responsibilities, salary, wage rate. This ensures transparency and protect both parties from future disputes. Under Section 10 of the Employment Act 1955, employers are required to provide clear written terms for longer-term employment. Courts rely on written contracts as the primary evidence.
Unpaid wages. GISBH violated Section 18 and 19 of the Employment Act 1955 by failing to pay wages not later than the 7th day of following month. In September 2024, the Johor Labour Court ordered GISBH to pay 23,100 ringgit to a former employee who did not receive any wages during his employment, even though the employee initially claimed 209,000 ringgit for work done between 2020 and 2021. In addition, the Inspector General of Police, Tan Sri Rasaruddin Hussain, confirmed that police received multiple reports from workers alleging non-payment of wages. He also stated that these cases could be investigated as forced labour under Section 90B of the Employment Act 1955. From a common law perspective, GISBH
which is contractual duty and the duty of mutual trust and confidence by practicing the MOHD system. Under this system, workers were given discretionary allowance instead of fixed wages, which ignore the actual value of work performed. From an ethical and industrial relation perspective, GISPH also breached the Code of Conduct for Industrial Harmony 1975. Reports showed that some branches were profitable, yet workers were still not paid, causing financial hardship and damaging harmonious employer-employee. To prevent unpaid wages from happening, several measures should be taken by GISPH. First, the company must strictly comply with the Employment Act 1955 by ensuring that wages are paid not later than the 7th day of following month to avoid legal penalties. Second, GISPH should implement a formal and transparent payroll system by replacing discretionary payment practices such as the MOHD system with fixed wages clearly stated in employment contracts. Third, the company should establish an internal grievance handling mechanism to allow employees to report wage-related issues early in line with the principle of Code of Conduct for Industrial Harmony 1975. Fourth, the company should maintain open and transparent communication with employees regarding salary matter in order to uphold the common law duty of mutual trust and confidence. Finally, GISPH should strengthen financial planning and internal controls to ensure sufficient funds are always available to meet wage obligation even during financial
labor rights violation. I choose the excessive working hour. So the violation of the Employment Act 1955, they will be having the employees to perform excessive hours working beyond the statutory limits under Section 60A of the Employment Act 1955, whereby this act prescribes a maximum of 8 hours per day or 45 hours per week and mandates lawful overtime compensation and also rest break. This conduct constitutes a breach of Employment Act and exposes GISPH to statutory penalties and enforcement by the Labour Department. So for the common law breach, GISPH implied contractual duty of care, the duty to provide safe, healthy and fair working conditions. And they also for the duty of mutual trust and confidence by imposing unreasonable work schedules. Code of conduct would be GISPH failed to uphold corporate ethical standards by allowing excessive working hours and inadequate rest to persist, thereby neglecting employees' welfare, occupational safety and also dignity. Next, the solution for the company towards the labour right violation, which is excessive working hour. So first, GISPH need to ensure full compliance with the Section 60A of the Employment Act 1955. They can do this by strictly observing the limits of normal working hour, and they need to ensure any overtime working must be compensated. Second, the company should implement workforce planning and also scheduling system. Therefore, they can avoid any fatigue and also burnout for their employee. Next, employees should also be provided by clear grievance and reporting channels to raise concerns regarding excessive working hours, workload pressure or denial of rest day. This consistent with the common law obligation of mutual trust and confidence. Last solution would be GISPH should adopt occupational safety and health oriented practices, such as they can recognize excessive working hours pose to risk to physical and also mental health.
In conclusion, the industrial relation issues faced by global equine service and business holding reflects serious violation of Malaysian labour law, common law principle and ethical standard. Issues such as unpaid wages, poor employment practices, excessive working hours, unsafe or unregulated worker accommodation, and the failure to provide written employment contracts demonstrate weak management and poor corporate governance within the company. This issue can be addressed through stronger enforcement of the Employment Act 1955 and the Industrial Relations Act 1967, as well as a strict adherence to the Code of Conduct for Industrial Harmony 1975. Employee may seek solution either individually or collectively by lodging complaint with the Department of Labour, joining trade unions or bringing dispute before the Industrial Court. Employee, on the other hand,
Employer, on the other hand, must take responsibility by strengthening legal compliance, improving employment policies, and ensuring fair and ethical treatment of workers in order to prevent industrial dispute in the future.